Okay. Dressed up for this one. The title is Dan Mangan. Perhaps there's no musician I love more than Dan Mangan. In a one-sided kind of sad, like you had better get out more before you shout, "Dan, I want your babies!" And then Dan and the band and all the dudes and ladies step away and go quiet as if you suddenly got rabies because you're a man too, so you can't have Dan's babies. Sort of way. But I was starstruck ever since I was lucky enough for the CBC, and for those who don't know, the CBC is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. It's a kind of media organization that delivers news and music to radios, TV, and internet across the nation. As I was saying, I was starstruck ever since I was lucky enough for the CBC to convince me to listen to Radio 3. I'd just come back to Canada from some other place, and it was of my opinion, still is, that mainstream music was a waste of money, time, and space, and pop radio was laced with corporate propaganda, and anything creative or innovative about real music had been replaced by stale words and molding themes, dictatorial labels, capitalist cash flows, token chords, and broken dreams. Now, lyrical content varies about as much as a kindergartner's dictionary. And like a musical euro, they want to propound you one sound and treat variety like some underground rapist of Satanist notoriety. So, I fart in the direction of what tops the charts, and listening to those number 1s through 40s makes me want to instigate some very hateful and musically violent behavior. But I should mention I experienced this volatile condition all the while before I literally heard my savior, Dan Mangan. I digress. So, there I was, my ass feeling fuzzy from an uncomfortable chair while I stared a little bored and typed the keys on my keyboard, http://radio3.cbc.ca. And I thought, I love it when they put a Canadian suffix at the end of a URL, eh? And there was Dan Mangan. Well, not really. I mean, not stuck in my computer banging his fist against the screen. This is not what I meant by going digital! No. Just a simple R3 iPlayer buffering some music in a box, and the music it emitted was Dan Mangan's Sold, and it totally rocked my socks. And after Sold, I was sold, and I wanted more so bad that more was not enough. I was like a junkie. Dan Mangan was my funky new drug. I was a jog-chugging acoustic riffs, moody and meaningful melodies, laugh-out-loud lyrics, and shrill violin. I couldn't remember since when I had felt so fulfilled by music. I was thrilled and chilled by it. It made me stay up all night with my iPod lights flashing a CBC R3 session with him, and I thought, this is so nice. Nice. So very nice. This is like soy sauce on rice. Music is the main meal, but Dan Mangan is the spice, and the price is right because listening's free on Radio 3, though, trust me, I would pay. Though even then, Dan would say, if the cost is more than what you get paid, do it anyway. And there's another reason I love to play his music. He's not cash sickly mindless, he doesn't act like some highness, he just appreciates acoustics and advocates kindness. I think he's the right kind of icon to figurehead this culture. He just does what he loves, he's not some media vulture. And have you heard the way he words, his twists on turns of phrase and plays with cliches to create whole new meanings? This guy is practically bleeding creativity. From the orifice of his guitar flows the sweet blood of new notes that get passion pumping you can feel in your ears. His ideas can be so thoughtful he'll have you eating your own tears. But then, he can be funny, with music like a dog is licking your tummy relentlessly, and when you finally catch your breath, you found you've caught a lighter side of life. Dan Mangan has you hanging out of an open window, and the world that blows through your hair is one without strife. Where no one strives to be anything more than who they are, and it's about community or communing with nature, not having quick cash or big brands or fast cars, and as far as the ear can hear. The background music of this place that Dan takes me sings, robots need love too. They want to be loved by you. So, maybe we're all robots, mechanically scanning for other robots to love and be loved by. Maybe we're all cogs trying to hog a little niche in an endlessly spinning and expanding machine, but if you look out the screen door and up at the stars, you might realize we're all under the same sky. And if that's not reason enough to love one another, then I don't know what love's for. I like to think I'm a man after Dan's own heart. When he starts to play, I start to get happy, and all the little crappy things start to seem not so, well, crappy. And all the while I'm listening, a smile plays my lips and my arms are flapping fervently and I can't control my hips. And all the while I'm listening, I'm wondering if I'll ever be able to be half the man or even flash half the grin of the coolest and happiest cat I know in music who goes by the name Dan Mangan.